In this video, I will be sharing with you in details how I plan to take advantage of a bullish potential here on the Euro USD as we head into the final trading week of the month of June. The first thing we will notice if we go up to the daily time frame is that we have been on a long-term bearish momentum since the beginning of February, as we can see our price has continued to respect that bearish trend line as price continue to find lower highs and lower lows. However, after price tested this area at 1.03400, we saw a rise in price action back into the trend line. And then we saw since the beginning of the month, price did a bearish momentum to the downside, testing that same level, after which we continue to see higher lows from this point in time. So going into the new week, what is going to be our plan going forward? Are we expecting price to come back to do a retest of this bearish trend line to send price going down? Or is price going to break out of this trend line to push through for a bullish momentum? Or is it possible that price will do a downtrend continuation from this area during the new week? Well, the first thing first we want to be doing at this point is to identify an area at this 1.03400, which appears to be a demand zone. As you can see, every time price comes into that area, buyers keep rejecting that level with a push to the upside, and we can see what happened during the month as we saw another sharp rejection of this area during the mid month, and price came back up again from this area, emphasizing the strength of buyers from this point in the market. So at this point, we want to identify this level, and we want to be drawing a demand zone to emphasize the strength of the structure at this point in time. So let's identify this area with a label demand zone. So with a demand zone identified here, you can see that it has been very difficult for sellers to push price below this area. And if that happens, then definitely we want to be looking for a bearish momentum. But since that has not yet happened, as we continue to see price trending above that demand zone, definitely I want to be looking for a bullish momentum from this area in the market. How do we take advantage of this move? Let's scale down to a much lower time frame like the 4 hours time frame, where we want to look out for structures that will support a trend continuation. So bringing our chart down to the 4 hours time frame, what have we noticed here? Well, considering the downtrend scenario we have here, there is a possibility that price could continue to the downside. As we can see, price went up into 1.0600 area during the last couple of weeks, and price has been rejecting that area since then, giving us a clue into the selling momentum that happens to be around this area, as there's a possibility that price could go further down from this area, considering the previous impulse leg that began in the first week of this month. So in order to guide our actions as we head into the new week, it's appropriate that we identify a key level that will guide our actions going forward. And if we look left, we can see that we have this area that has been at this has been a supply zone. We have it here. We have a supply zone, supply zone, supply zone around here. Supply zone, we can see multiple times price has rejected that area, giving us a clue into the strength of sellers at this point in the market. So with this information in hand, I want to do a connection of this point, after which we'll be using that place as our yardstick going forward. So bringing out our line chart from this point and connecting this series together, we have a key level sitting right at 1.0600, which appears to be a major significant area and also a psychological level considering the round figure. So let's draw our line chart, let's connect it together, and we have this area gold color, and then we have label it a key level at 1.06000, and let's place it on the right side of the screen. Right hand side of the screen will be most appropriate, and so we have something like that. So we have a key level sitting right at that area, which has been rejected multiple times. So what I want to be looking out for going into the new week is this. For me to do a buy on this one, I want to see a significant breakout of that key level to emphasize the bullish trend, after which a retest of structure, and I look out for patterns on lower time frame that supports a trend continuation to the upside. And if we do have a breakout of that bearish trend line we identified on the daily time frame, then a retest of that level could welcome another could welcome us adding position to the trade. So with this information in hand, what I want to be looking out for is to buy the euro right above the identified key level, where we will be having an entry point right above that area, and we'll only enter after we have the significant breakout and the completion of a confirmation in the form of a reversal pattern. That is, we see a breakout of the structure, price comes back down, do a reversal pattern on lower time frame, then we can join the potential rally to the upside. So if this happens, where will our take profit target be? Just like the situation I shared with you on the, was it not the New Zealand USD, I guess? If we have an entry point here, we want to be having our stop loss first of all right below the previous structure around this area, and mind you, we should note that our entry point and stop loss is based on our point of entry. We don't know where the entry point is going to be right now, as we don't know how the confirmation pattern is going to evolve. So I'm just going to give you a projection of what we're expecting, and during the early hours of the week, whatever happens will now give me the opportunity to share or do an update in that regard. So first of all, I want us to be looking at a take profit target at using the previous impulse leg that we identified earlier, this impulse leg. Then we want to be looking for a retracement into the golden zone area, at least for the meantime, where if we run our Fibonacci retracement tool through that impulse leg, we should be having our retracement phase between the 50 and the 78.6% of the previous impulse leg, which falls around here. I would like to draw out that area for the sake of clarity so that we can use this for reference purposes in the future. So we give this a yellow at this point, and then we label it our take profit target zone. TP target zone. We label it here. So we place it right in the middle of this rectangle, and we'll be having something like this. And let's just give this a little bit. 14 is okay. So we'll be deleting our retracement tool as it's no longer needed. So what I'm looking out for, that is what I'll be looking out for, as I expect price to come into this area, which will dovetail to at least a minimum of, let's say, 200, 300 pips to catch during the new week. However, it is worthy to note here that considering the long-term bearish momentum on this pair, there is a possibility that price could go to the downside. If we look at how this impulse leg has begun, this impulse leg could be like this impulse leg, then we could be having a retracement phase that could push price further to the downside. And how do we take advantage of that if price continues to the downside? The first thing first we want to be doing is to bring out our line chart, and we can see what looks like a rising wedge around this area. And if you connect the series of higher lows at this point, we'll be having a bullish trend line, at least a temporary one for the meantime, after which we want to be looking out for a breakdown of this trend line, a retest of structure, probably a retest into the key level one more time, or the retest of this bullish trend line, after which we look for patterns on lower time frame that supports a trend continuation to the downside. Well, the early hours of the week will decide how price is going to go, and I shall be doing an update in that regard. You might want to follow me on my trading view platform so you don't miss out on the regular updates I normally share in the comment section. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope the data herein will be enough to help you make individual decision during the new week. Good night.